afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this afternoon session on Flipgrid in Canvas. We'll go over a couple things before we get started. But just so you know, the focus for today is going to be on the actual integration and how to turn on the integration within your Canvas course for Flipgrid. So we're going to walk you through those steps. We are going to show you how to create an integrated Flipgrid assignment in Canvas and show you what that looks like from the student perspective as well. And then you'll have some time to work on that if you want to give it a try in your sandbox course. And then we will have time for some questions. And let's see, what else do we have to go over here? We have an hour scheduled for this. I anticipate the review of how to integrate Flipgrid and how to create a Flipgrid integrated assignment will take about 30 minutes. So we should have plenty of time for you guys to work on the steps on your own as well as ask questions. Mike Gizzo is going to be monitoring the chat for us today. Please try to keep questions to the topic of Flipgrid in Canvas. We do have a resource slide for you that is linked, and that also includes a link to the recording from the Flipgrid PD. So if you're looking for more information, more in-depth information on Flipgrid itself and what tools are available in there, you are going to want to watch the Flipgrid PD. I apologize, the dog is into things over here, but at least she's quiet. We are recording this, so if you have your video camera on, please be aware that you may appear in the recording and in the video, and we will make the recording available as soon as we can, hopefully within that 48-hour time frame for you. Mike, anything you want to add there?
Yeah, just to keep in mind as we go through this today, Brenda's going to walk you through the integration side of it, and then she's going to walk you through the creation of assignment, and we will show you both the teacher side and student side of that. So if you're curious what the student side is going to look like, we're going to show you that piece as well. So that's kind of everything that you'll see during the session, just so you know before we get started. I'll be in the chat window if you have any questions. Thanks.
We are doing our best to try and answer all of those questions. Some of them Mike may not get to right away because he knows that I will be going over it. So if you can kind of try and stay with us as we go through the integration and modeling for you what that assignment piece looks like. Also, remember there are only 73 of you in there right now today, but just one mic in there trying to keep up with questions while I am here. So please do forgive us if we miss anything or don't. It takes us a little while to get an answer to you. And remember too, if you have questions about another topic, to please email us at edtech@powayusd.com. Okay, so Flipgrid integration. We are sharing with you, I don't know if Mike has it in there or not yet, but if it's not there, it will be there shortly in the chat window. These different integrations, different links for you on the integration. The Flipgrid in Canvas is going to walk you through all of the steps that we're about to go through. So there are screenshots in there if you want to just watch right now and then go back and give this a try when we open it up for work time and questions. And we're going to walk through all of those, and then you'll also see that we have that Flipgrid PD session on here, a link directly to the Flipgrid website with their frequently asked questions and guide, as well as if you joined us in the morning session for this and you're back again this afternoon, we have added additional information for those of you in secondary with multiple sections within your Canvas course. So we'll talk about that as we go through today as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually open a new tab, and I am going to go to Flipgrid. So just flipgrid.com. If you don't have an account yet, you can create one. They are free, and just use your login with Google. Once you are into your Flipgrid account, you're going to go up to your profile and click on integrations. From here, you are going to add a new integration. And you're going to want to name that integration something that you recognize, the name of your course, or if you're a secondary teacher and you would like different Flipgrid grids for each of your sections, you might want to name this by period. So if you have a period 3 AP bio, go ahead and get that specific. And then go ahead and click on create. You'll see that this creates for me a consumer key, this big long chain of numbers with a nice handy copy feature here, and then this shared secret also with that copy feature. I'm going to need those in just a minute. You can see that I have already created, I've done those same steps, so just adding a new integration, naming that section or course. In here, so if you have multiple sections, I would recommend creating those all in Flipgrid first. And then I'm going to navigate back to my Canvas course. So up in my tabs at the top of my Chrome browser, I'm going to click back onto my Canvas course. I'm going to scroll all the way down my in-course menu to settings. So we created that integration information in Flipgrid. Now we're back in Canvas, in the course, in settings, in course settings. In the course settings page, I'm going to go over to the tab that says apps. And in here, where I have this filter by name or search bar, I'm going to start typing in Flipgrid. It's going to pop up for me, and I'm going to click on it and then select Add App. Then I'm going to get a pop-up. I'm going to need that consumer key and shared secret from the Flipgrid page. So that's why I left this tab open where we created those new integrations. I'm going to go back to that page and I'm going to copy my consumer key. I'm also going to make a note of which one I'm copying because I want to name my integration correctly. So if I'm at the elementary level and I have just one section of students, one class of students, I want them all accessing the same Flipgrid board, I can just title it what my course is for that year. If I'm at the secondary level and I have multiple sections in the same Canvas course, but I want to keep their Flipgrid responses separated by section, I'm going to create multiple integrations in Flipgrid and name them after those different sections. Okay, so I'm going to copy my consumer key. I'm going to go back into Canvas and I'm going to paste it in there. I'm going to update my name. And then I'm going to go back to Flipgrid and grab that shared secret. So I'm going to click on copy, head back into Canvas, and paste that in. Then I'm going to click on Add App. Okay, I get a message that the app was successfully added. I can also check on it in this View App Configurations button. If you view app configurations, you're going to get a list of all of the external apps that have been added to Canvas. You'll notice that for most of them, you have a locked symbol. That means this was installed at the district level or at either at the site level or the district level, and you can't make changes to that integration. If you scroll down to, they're alphabetical, but since mine was, there it is, period 3 AP bio. I could have added Flipgrid on there as well. It just depends on what makes the most sense for you. You'll notice there isn't a lock, which means that I can get the settings for this app. If I click here, I can delete the integration if I want to rename it or something's not working or I don't want it on anymore. Or I can also edit it. So if I made a mistake in that naming convention and I decide that I want to add Flipgrid on here, I can do that from here. You'll see the consumer key and the shared secret are also in there. And it pulled in some more information for Flipgrid as well. And then I'm just going to click on Submit. And that will update the name for me. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to head back to my home page just because I'm in my course. I've turned on the integration. If you're at the secondary level and you created multiple sections in Flipgrid, you can come back and you're going to go through that same process again. So you would go into apps, you'd search for Flipgrid, add the app, change the name to match those other sections for your course, and copy and paste in the matching keys and secrets. Okay. From here, Mike, do we need to go over anything integration-wise before we get into what an assignment looks like?
No, that was clear, Brenda. Thank you.
Okay.
Let me just address that one question that just popped up. Can we do this in our sandbox or do we need to wait? You will have to redo the integration when you get your course shell. That said, it's probably good practice to just do it in your sandbox once so that you see how the integration works and you can test creating an assignment. But when you get your shell, you'll need to do this integration in your actual course.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, so we're going to show you what it looks like to create an assignment using the integration. So I'm going to go in through assignments, but if you're using modules in your, you can, of course, go in through the modules view and add an assignment. I'm going to add an assignment here. My autosave. Okay, and we are doing, I'm doing all caps this time, Mike, so hopefully we can find this assignment easily. You can add your directions in here. You still have access to all of the content editor options within Canvas. So if you needed to add any images or video, you could do that through the Canvas side. Flipgrid is meant to be a video discussion board. So you can also still use the Flipgrid setup through Canvas. This is just the Canvas side of it. You're going to want to set the points, decide how your grade for this assignment will be displayed. And then for submission type, we're going to select external tool. Remember, if you're using an external tool for an assignment, you can only choose one external tool. So this isn't integrating any other pieces with this assignment. This is strictly to get to a Flipgrid discussion. Okay, I'm selecting external tool. Then I'm going to click on Find. And from here, I have an alphabetical list of all of the external tools that are available. I'm going to scroll through, and this is where it's going to be very helpful to know what I named all of my sections. So I think I started this one with period 3. There we are. Period 3, AP Bio, Flipgrid. You can, again, think about those naming conventions and where you want that to show up in your external tools. But just make sure that you are designating clearly which sections you're using if you're at the secondary level. At the elementary level, you're welcome to just leave the integration as Flipgrid on your Canvas side. Once you click to select, you'll see it gets a little bit darker gray than when I'm just scrolling. And then the button down here in the lower right-hand corner reads Select instead of Find. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you'll know that you have it if you see this URL listed in here. The URL changes a little bit, but you should have a URL in this bar now. I'm going to scroll down. And for secondary, if you are assigning this only to a specific section, so like we said, period 3, I would find my AP Bio period 3 course and assign it only to that section. The default is that this goes to everyone in the course, and that's probably fine at the elementary level, although you can differentiate who's getting which assignment. And then again, for secondary, if you're trying to have different Flipgrids for different sections, this is where you need that to match the integration that you chose earlier. And then I'm going to give it a due date. and save and publish. Once I do that, you're going to see it loading here for just a moment. And then the Flipgrid setup window is going to appear for me. So for those of you who have already been using Flipgrid or you participated in the PD last week on Flipgrid, this should look very familiar to you. I can get into edit this board. You'll see it pulled the title of the assignment in for me. I can update the directions within here, and I'm noticing this, I don't remember this from last year, but I'm noticing this unlicensed copy of this editor. This is the editing tool from Flipgrid. So I think it's just recognizing that it's in a different space than normal, but we're not using it illegally here. So then you have all of the same options that you would have in Flipgrid. I'm going to run through them pretty quickly here. If you're really interested, again, that PD session on Flipgrid will walk you through all of these pieces. I'm going to limit this to a 30-second response, but you can go up to 10 minutes. You can turn on closed captions if you want to see the videos before they are available to all of your other students. You can select that. You can add more media resources. And then this is where in other integrations or uses of Flipgrid, if you turn this part on, this is where you would select to enter the @powayusd.com and @stu.powayusd.com. If you leave this off and have the students access it right through the assignments feature in Canvas, you don't need to worry about that part. Okay, you can also add attachments. You can work on the topic status. You have all of these features. Again, I'm not going to run through all of them, but you have all the features there that you would see normally in Flipgrid, and then you can just click on Update Topic. All right, so that is the teacher side of creating a Flipgrid integrated assignment in Canvas. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that Mike can hop onto his screen and show you what it looks like from a semi-student view. You may notice on his screen that he'll still have an edit assignment button, but that's just because he's enrolled in this course as a student, but he's also an admin for Canvas. So it's not going to look exactly the same, but the Flipgrid part of it will act like it would for a student.
Thanks, Brenda. Okay, so I come into the course as a student and I can see on my to-do list over here. I could also access it through assignments, but I see it on my to-do list, Flipgrid 1. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And this is how it'll show up for your students. There's like an embedded, there's an embedded table in here. So it's the Flipgrid 1, the topic was automatically generated from Canvas, and they can record a response to that topic. And we can see that right now there's no responses. If there are responses will appear down there. One thing to note, and this is for your course or section, there is a drop down here if you have other active topics. Students will be able to click and look at other topics that are going on. There's no way to turn that off. So just so you know that anything that's active will show up in that spot for student response. Within here, all students will do is click on record a response and it'll bring up the Flipgrid screen recorder. Again, they can do all the things that they can do within Flipgrid, upload a clip, mirror image, audio, or record their screen. They can add their effects. But in short, they hit record and they record your response to whatever the prompt might have been. When they're done, they click the next button. The next button allows them to preview it. I'm going to talk over myself, and then we have to take a selfie, right? We take a selfie. They can add effects if they want. It uploads the video. That's the worst picture of me ever. We're going to submit it so it goes away. We get fireworks and happiness. And we say complete and we're done. So that really is, that's the whole process for your students. And I think the neat thing about doing it through the LTI, through this integration, is that it all exists within Canvas. So it all exists within your Canvas assignment instead of having to push your students out to an external website. Brenda can show you what happens next. On the teacher side, I think that's where we're going, yes?
All right, yeah, thanks, Mike. Okay. The other thing that you can do, just like in regular Flipgrid, is Mike was saying that students can access all those past topics, that you can hide topics. So if you don't want them going back to something, you can always hide it. Okay, so on the teacher side, I'm going to head over to my home page, and I can see over here in my to-do list, I get a notification of how many students have submitted, and it's telling me that I need to grade this Flipgrid 1 assignment. I have 1 turned in so far. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And then you'll see this takes me into the speed grader within Canvas. It pulls up Mike's response right here. I can watch it right here on the screen. I can enter his grade and leave comments. I can include attachments. I can do media response comments. I can do speech recognition, so speech to text comment. And then, and I can't spell. And then I'm going to just submit that back to him. So he'll get a notification on his student side that he has feedback on an assignment, and when he clicks on it, he'll be able to see that. And then I can just click through if I had additional students who had turned in the assignment, I can just click through and do my grading there. And if I head back over to the gradebook, I will see, as I scroll through my assignments, that he has submitted that flipped assignment check mark for complete. I had it show up as complete or incomplete. So there is the grade there. All right. So we have gone over how to do the integration and kind of talked through how that would work for secondary teachers with multiple sections in their course. We've gone through the steps of creating a Flipgrid integrated assignment within Canvas and shown you what that looks like for the student experience, and then what the teacher receives back and the grading process for that. There is an additional way for students to access Flipgrid within Canvas if you don't want to use the assignments function. If you choose the other route, it won't go into your gradebook. So it won't show up in the speed grader, it won't show up in the gradebook. But you can, in your course, enable Flipgrid to show up in this left-hand in-course navigation. And then it's really just an embedded Flipgrid within your Canvas course. And you would do that by going in your in-course menu all the way to the bottom to settings. Then from the navigation tab, you would find that Flipgrid integration. Now, I don't recommend doing this at the secondary level, especially if you have multiple sections that you've divided out, because if you do enable this, it will enable it for the whole course, and those sections will be able to get into other sections' Flipgrids. So at secondary, if you're trying to keep those sections separated, I would stick with just the assignments feature. At elementary, you may just want students interacting more, and rather than creating an assignment for them, when you find your Flipgrid integration, you can click to enable it. It'll pull it up here into the course navigation for students, and I can also click and drag it and put it in whatever order I want over here. And then I just need to remember to save once I have made adjustments to the course navigation. And then you'll see that it shows up over here on the left-hand side and is clickable for students. And when they click on it, it's just going to take them in, as well as for the teacher. So I don't need to go back out to Flipgrid. I can just work from inside my Canvas course now. All right. So I think we've kind of covered everything. I'll check in with Mike in just a second and see if there are any big topics or recurring questions going on that we can go over all together. And other than that, we may be stopping our video or muting ourselves and just trying to answer questions in that chat window. We may pop back in and do some screen sharing and just trying to get through and answer as many questions as we can. Mike, is there anything whole group wise we should go over right now, or?